And then there was one, the Ford Mustang. That's right, folks. For 2025, there's not going to be any more Dodge Challenger, Charger, or Camaro. The Mustang is the sole survivor and the only American muscle car that's going to continue to soldier on. Welcome to my channel. This is the Ford Mustang 2024 Mustang GT. This, of course, is a convertible, as you guys can see. I'm going to talk about it, review it, show you all of its glorious features, especially what's under this beautiful hood. And then we go for a very fun and entertaining first drive. Before I continue, I just want to give you guys a big thank you for supporting my channel, for viewing, for liking, for sharing my videos. If you're new here, just do me a favor, click the subscribe button down below for content like this and many, many more. And of course, I have to thank Ford for allowing me to have my first ever Mustang in my channel. I've never driven a Mustang, so this is a new experience for me. Stay tuned, that is coming up next. Okay, let's talk 2024 Ford Mustang. The Mustang has just turned 60 years old in 2024. So this car was first introduced in 1964 at the New York World's Fair in New York City, Queens, in Flushing Meadows Park, actually, my hometown of Queens. And here it is, 60 years later, it still lives. And Ford has vouched to continue making the Mustang as long as people keep buying it. And it will always have a V8, no matter what. No matter what happens in the auto industry, this bad boy is always going to have a 5-liter V8 underneath this hood. So let's talk about the exterior first. For 2024, which is the 7th generation version of the Mustang, it has a very nice updated look. I do like the mean, angry lights up front. Of course, you have the signature Mustang emblem up front. You have functional, everything up here is very functional. Most of it is functional, so you do have those air vents right here, which suck in air. You do have the grill on the bottom is active, and it does suck in a lot of air. There's the radar sensor. And this side is air duct for the brakes, to cool the massive brakes, which I'll go over in a second. And this hood scoop is also functional, which again, I'll show you guys later in the engine portion. But this color is also, just before I continue, it's called Vapor Blue Metallic. It is absolutely beautiful. I dig the color. My tester, because it has the performance package, this has a staggered setup. What that means is the front wheels are 255, 40, 19-inch wrapped in those wheels. It does have the upgraded Brembo brakes, and in the rear is 275, 40, 19. So these Brembo brakes calipers look absolutely massive. If I was a guessing man, I'm gonna say they're probably 6-piston calipers, which that's what they look like. Stopping power is not a problem, absolutely. And these are Pirelli P Zero summer performance tires. Of course, you have the legendary 5.0 badge right there. This car does have turn signals, and being a convertible, it does have, of course, open top experience, which we'll go over in the interior portion. And the beauty thing is, this one is automatic. I can do this, press twice, and there it is. That legendary 5-liter V8 comes to life. And it's absolutely it's insane. Of course, this car does also have active valve exhaust. There is the active valve exhaust, nice beefy looking exhaust tips. Let me just turn it off. I don't disturb everybody else around me. But there is the GT badge and nice little Easter egg that which Ford has a lot of them. I'll show a few of them. The word performance is written right there in the actual badge itself. That's how you know this has the performance package. Coupe models will have hardtop models will have a spoiler back here, but for the convertible, for some reason, Ford decided to not include the spoiler, and this is something I haven't seen in a long time. a physical antenna. This is circa like 1990s, but I'm sure you can replace it and get a little one. The top goes down in about 8 seconds, which is very, very quick. And this car just, the looks are just mean and in charge. Very massive hips and everything. But let's take a look at the engine bay and show you guys that glorious 5.0 V8 Coyote motor of the Ford Mustang, and talk about the power numbers and specs before we go in the interior. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. Okay, let's look at the heart of the beast and the reason why you buy a 5-liter Mustang GT. This is the GT model, so all GT models are V8. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8, Coyote V8. This particular version in this trim, I mean this year, has dual throttle bodies and dual intake. This one, because it has the active valve exhaust and a performance package, it makes 486 horsepower and 418 pounds-feet of torque. My tester comes with the 10-speed automatic, which is optional, but you can get it with a 6-speed manual for all your purists out there. And you do have a nice strut bar there, so you can get good handling. And very straightforward. This is a tried and true motor. Ford puts this in the F-150 Raptor R. They put it in the F-150 as well. You can get it a V8. I mean, this engine is in everything, and it's a reliable power source. And I'm glad that in 2024 we can still get a naturally aspirated V8, which unfortunately those numbers are dwindling in the car world. And that's it. As you can see, the hood scoop is functional, so you guys can see it does suck in a lot of air through there to feed these two massive air intakes. Also, there is Easter eggs underneath this one. Let me see if I can show it with one hand. It actually shows, hard to pick up on camera, but there's all the lettering is every single displacement for every single Mustang, which is a nice little Easter egg, which is very, very cool. And you got, of course, the 5.0 in there. We got a 4.2. Very, very cool to see that. That Ford, of course, hide. And there's Easter eggs everywhere, all over the car. That I may not show all of them, but so you guys can find them on your own when you get your own Mustang. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technology, and then we go for a very fun and quick drive of the 2024 Ford Mustang. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at how fast the top goes up and down. Very easy operation. You just push this button here, just like a sunroof button, and there it goes. In about 8-9 seconds, it goes up, it closes, and then you just latch it here in the middle. I'll show you guys what that latch looks like later. And that's pretty much it. And then you just put the back, one button for the back two little windows, and then both front windows are auto up and down. To, of course, open it, you have to unlatch it, release, and then it will automatically lower the windows, and you have to unfortunately hold it, and that's it. Very quick, no pain, no fuss operation. All right, let's take a look at the very literal interior of the 2024 Ford Mustang GT. This is, of course, a convertible. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2024 Ford Mustang. It's a very simple affair. Of course, you can do it with the key. Very typical, almost identical to every other Ford key. So you have unlock, lock, remote start. This opens the trunk, panic button, and then you have, of course, the Mustang logo in the back to make it unique. And if you guys notice, it doesn't say Ford anywhere. This does not say Ford anywhere, it just says strictly Mustang. So walk up to it, keyless entry, just put your hand on the door handles, the vehicle unlocks. And before we step inside, let's just look at this interior. This one, of course, is the top trim. So this is the premium, and it's about $73,000 as tested because it has over 12 grand in options. So starting with the interior, of course, this one is full leather interior, soft padded materials, pretty much everywhere you touch. It does have 3 memory settings for the mirror and the seat, and nice aluminum trim here. Itty bitty pocket, but you're not buying this car for practicality, you're buying it for fun. Nice Mustang stills right there that they do light up, and you got the horse there. You got little Easter eggs everywhere. There's another little Easter egg right there. You got a little Mustang, probably hard to pick up on camera, but yep, there we go. Let me camera focus. There it is. This one, because it has the upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system, and it sounds excellent, especially for a convertible. Very good. Pop mirror controls right here. Lighting. You have lighting controls here to open the trunk. The dimmer switch. Of course, this vehicle has automatic wipers. Automatic headlights and automatic wipers. Half power, half manual. So the back, you have to just press this to adjust the back. So it's a manual process. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Push it back. And then you have forward, backwards power, and you got two-way lumbar support in this particular model. So let's step inside the Mustang, and let me fix my seat. And if I lock it, let me see, lock and unlock, maybe with the key. Let's see, it does give you a little, the screens do give you some kind of little animation. Oh, there it is. And you got the little prancing horse in the middle. The instrument cluster is about 12.4 inches. This is a 13.4. Massive infotainment screen. It's a love and hate thing, because a few people, when I went to local Cars and Coffee, some guys say he absolutely hates the way it looks, and other people just loved it. So it's a mixed bag in terms of what people like. You do have, of course, a very nice steering wheel here. Very nice, very thick grip. You have cruise control on the left. So you got the Ford Core Pilot 360, and it does actually work. It take over, keep you in the lane centering. You got the Mustang logo and steering wheel. And then here you have infotainment and media controls, and you have a button to control the firmness of the steering wheel here. And you have the mode selector, which I'll go over in a second before I start it up. And you know, it's 2 screens, but it looks like one big screen, but I'll show you that in a second. You got 2 big center vents, start button right there, my Mustang button here, traction control on and off, hazards, favorites button, so you can favorite a lot of things. And this is a max AC / defrost button. You do have USB-C and A and a wireless charger. And here, in place of the 6-speed, you have Ford's very quick shifting 10-speed automatic. Yes, I know that a lot of Mustang purists will probably, not get the 10-speed, but hey, I met a person who had difficulties with his knees, and he said he loves this 10-speed. And to be in my week of testing this car, this 10-speed is absolutely great. It is very quick. You can put it, of course, in manual mode, and you do have paddle shifters and shift it. 2 cup holders, and you have a nice little decent glove box there. Oh, got some napkin there, and it's light. It has a little light in there, and not too bad, not too decent. And this is actually an electronic parking brake, so you raise it and it activates it. See the brake light, and then to turn it off, you just put it down. When the car's running, you could just kick it down and you can shut it off. All right, let's turn on this bad boy. Push the foot on the brake, press the red start button, and there it is. It comes to life. I don't know if the exhaust is being picked up on the camera, but of course you guys heard it already. And there is the instrument cluster. Very easy to read. The same people who designed the graphics for the infotainment are the same people behind the show like The Mandalorian, and it's using Unreal Engine. So if you press the mode button, you have normal, you have sport, you have track, you have drag strip, you have slippery, and then you have custom. And here you can customize pretty much anything. If you want what the suspension is doing, what the steering is doing. It may not pick up on camera, but I set custom to be in quiet mode for the exhaust. And the gauges are completely customizable as well. So they can be tied to the different modes. So normal, if I put it in sport, you're gonna see the gauges and the exhaust is gonna get a little louder as well. And the gauges turn like this, which is very, very cool. You see the gauges, so I have to put, yep, it's telling me about the e-brake. And there is the the horrific fuel economy, but you're not buying this car for fuel economy. If you drive it like a saint, you might get 22 miles per gallon on the highway. And there is track mode, which is one of my favorites. It looks very, very cool. And then the RPM moves to the top. You got the speedometer here, very cool. It gives you engine temperature, transmission temperature, suspension, everything. Very, very cool gauges. And then you have drag strip. Let me see what that looks like. I haven't seen this particular gauge. There you can activate line lock mode. Oh, it stays exactly the same. And moving on to the center screen, if you click on this little My Mustang logo, then you have an extra gauges. So you do auxiliary gauges, and you have things like the coolant temperature, you have engine temperature, G meter. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can play with this, and you have all sorts of measurements. See, the oil pressure goes up and down. Ford really gives you a lot of things to play with, and you can customize this to your liking. And then here you can do the gauges. So one very cool one is Fox body Mustang gauges. That's right. And there they are. So, and you click the home screen and look at that. Actual real gauges from very cool representation of the Fox body gauges. And at night, it lights up green just like in the Fox body, which is very cool. And right now, they're lighting up white, and it's awesome. This is awesome. And I believe the 2025 model, and there is going to be an update where you can get 65 gauges and other Mustang year gauges, which is very, very cool. And it adds a nice personalization touch to your vehicle. Also, I did forget, the steering wheel is also heated. You can turn that on right here. The seats are heated and cooled. So you have two levels. You got heated and cooled here. My only gripe is that everything has to be controlled on the screen. So if you want to turn on the climate control, you press this button here, and then you press the on button here to activate the climate control. And then of course you can do the temperatures, and it's dual temperature. You know, for everything you can do the airflow, and that shows you a nice little animation there of what it's doing. Not too bad. I mean, if you live with this car and you own it, you're gonna get used to it. So not the end of the world, I guess. A C button there, and you got your settings. This is running, of course, Sync 4, which is the latest version of Ford's infotainment system. You have vehicle settings here. You can control pretty much everything. You can tell it to start in quiet mode. And what that means is, because it has an active exhaust, it will basically keep the car quiet. So right now I have it in, let me put it back to normal, quiet mode right there. The car is quiet. So, which I'll go over let me go over the exhaust features. And it does have full factory navigation. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both of which you can use wired or wireless, but this is the native navigation map, which could be full screen. It does have onboard Wi-Fi, and there's the gauges. It shows you how it's, you know, Android Auto. And going back to the Mustang, here is, you can play with the exhaust. So right now it's in quiet mode. This is normal. Hard to pick up on camera, but I'll do it. This is sport mode. It gets a little louder. And then full mode, track mode, is the absolute loudest. And it does crackles and pops, and it's just insane. I mean, this car, you don't need to drive it with the radio on. I mean, the radio's great. I heard it. The best radio of this engine is the engine of this car. You could do my color. So this, you can customize the ambient lighting, because this vehicle does have ambient lighting. The footwells light up, and the door handles light up. Very nice at night. So you can absolutely play with the ambient lighting color. Very, very cool. A lot of customization to make the car unique to you. And that is pretty much it in terms of, oh, and let me go back to my Mustang mode. You can do drift brake, so you can turn, yeah, that's right, you can make this electronic parking brake your drift brake, so you can pull and yank it when you're drifting. And there is something called line lock, which is right here. So I believe, let me see if I put this car in drag strip mode, if it activates the line lock mode, which, let me see if it does it. I have never done it, so I don't know. I did meet somebody with a California Special 24 Mustang that you'd activate line lock, but I no idea how to do that. So you could do brake performance, 60 to 0, 100 to 0. I mean, the sky's the limit. Lap timer. It's very, very customizable, this vehicle, which is cool that Ford did that and customized this car so you can control it and basically make it your own. And while I'm in here, let's close the roof so you guys can see what that latch looks like. And as you can see, there it comes. And you just latch it like so, and that's it. That's what the latch looks like in the 2024 Ford Mustang. And you do have universal garage door opener right here. The mirror is auto dimming, hello, and the outside mirrors as well, which I gotta add, they are ridiculously small for this car. That's another complaint that I have. They're tiny mirrors. It does have blind spot warning and rear cross traffic alert. All the modern safety stuff this vehicle does have. All right, let's go for a drive of the 2024 Ford Mustang GT. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2024 Ford Mustang. All right, I am gonna set it to normal sport mode, and then I'll change different modes. I got my buddy Ron accompany me in this video. We put it in sport mode. Hopefully the audio is not as insane. And let me change the gauges to match the driving mode. All right. And this car's been fun. I mean, the whole week driving this, I mean, you don't need a radio. Yeah, the radio's great and 12 speakers and all that, but it's like you don't need a radio with this car because of how much fun. But I'm over here in my local loop that I normally do my videos, and it's insane. This thing, unfortunately, there's somebody in front of me, but it's a Mustang. There's no problem passing anybody. There's no problem power. I mean, when you have 486 on tap, this is not going to be a problem at all. And I want to apologize in advance if a lot of wind noise, but it is a convertible. But I right now have the exhaust on track, and I'm in track mode. So this is the most aggressive setting on the Mustang. And of course you could do custom modes as well. So hopefully this person in this Nissan Altima decides to move. And we're gonna get into my usual highway loop. And I'm gonna put the hammer down to show you guys this beautiful machine. And right now it's downshifting and getting ready. Let's see if this person moves. But anyway, the Mustang for 2025 is gonna be by itself. No more muscle car. The only muscle car in its class, it's gonna be the Mustang, and that's it. If you want a naturally aspirated V8, it has to be a Mustang or the European brands. Let's hit the road now. Whoa! Oh my God! And this is why you buy a Mustang. You got ultimate power on tap. 418 pounds-feet of torque. It's just insane. Absolutely insane. I don't know if the microphone's picking up the exhaust, but it is glorious. Let me just put up the window to minimize a little bit of the wind noise, but it's crazy. Crackle, pops, everything. I mean, you can get in trouble with this car very quickly. Very quickly. Of course, tunnels, obviously you can do tunnels and you can go nuts. And this person in front of me, I don't know what he's doing, he or she, accelerating and braking at the same time. Let me give him a signal to go away. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this thing is just too much fun. It's just a lot of fun. Come on. Oh, baby. Woo! This is insane. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next one. And thanks again, Ford, for allowing me to have this car in my home test area. Take care and stay safe.